If you are able, please stand and join us for a live performance of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, by native San Diegan and local recording artist Brittany Taylor.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Oh, sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on until victory is won.
Thank you, Brittany. What a highly moving performance. Next to the stage is Maestra Viviana, joining us on behalf of Ballet Folklorico in Azilan, an indigenous dance company founded in 1967. Through dance and community building, she aims to enrich the lives of her students with culture and pride. Please welcome her as she guides us through our opening intentions.
Amatyot! If you would like to rise so we can face the four directions, we are Danza Koyoshauki, north, east, south, and west, the sky beings, Mother Earth, and then to all of us, recognizing each individual heartbeat. Amatyot. Siéntense. We recognize each heartbeat here. We do not bring our drum today. We rely upon your heartbeat to be the drum beat, connecting to the cosmic heartbeat that connects us all. We are all indigenous people. Wherever you come from, wherever you may go, may you remember your connection to la naturaleza. May you remember your connection to your planet, to Mother Earth. May you remember your connection to each and every one of you sitting at your table, sitting with your group, from your home, from your community, from all over, from all different nations, from all different peoples. We offer a moment, but a moment in time and space where we can come together, where we can honor our ancestors who have brought forth this hope generation after generation after generation. Our ancestors who knew one day you would be sitting here because their hope brought you forth into this light, the light that glimmers no matter what, that will shine upon you no matter what, no matter where, no matter what circumstances you may undergo. You can persevere. And not only that, you can persevere with honor and respect, and of all things, with love. Love in your heart. Do not be clouded by your mind's illusions, intellectualizing that things are a certain way when in reality there's something else completely. Do not let the king with no clothes on be fooling you. See the real reality, as my mother would say. Because we honor that other entity. We honor that other essence that is true honesty, true hope, true peace. Not an illusion of it. The battle is not amongst ourselves. It is within ourselves. La batalla sagrada, the sacred dance, is not a war amongst people. It is simply to be the best person you can be. Be courageous. Be truthful. Be brave. I am alive. We are alive, and we will continue. We will continue to be, and give hope to the next 7 generations. We will give hope to the next 7 generations. Say it with me. We will give hope to the next 7 generations, for that is our mission. Peace. Peace within ourselves, knowing we are walking a good road, no matter where we walk, what we wear, how we dress, what we do. We are walking a good road, and we are bringing peace to ourselves and to our communities. It may not be easy, but it can occur. It may not be easy, but you can find hope and love and share that amongst each other. Be at peace and know that with each step, each paso del camino, you are striving to be your best self without forgetting our ancestors and their struggles, their endeavors, so we can exist. We know the real reality. We know what lies ahead. Have hope, no matter what. Never let that go. Never let that go. It may not be easy, but keep joy in your heart. Find joy. Find love. Omitiot. Omitiot.
Hello, San Diego.
Good morning, San Diego.
How are you doing, Maisha?
I'm here. I'm good.
Feeling good?
I'm feeling good. You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a big day. Lots of beautiful people here.
Lots of beautiful people here today. Look at you. It's giving community. It's giving stronger together. It's giving us, right?
That's right. Well, I want to welcome you to the 37th All People Celebration. Bienvenidos a todas y todos. Woo! Today is the day that we honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who called on us to treat each of us with dignity and respect, to build the beloved community where all of us belong. There are forces in this nation who are taking hold as we speak, who would have us do otherwise. But today, we recommit ourselves to the calling of Dr. King. We recommit ourselves to each other, to immigrant and citizen alike, to queer, straight, black, brown, and white neighbors alike. Today is the day we stand in community and with community to say we are California and we all belong. Our work is not easy. It is not the work of a day, an event, an administration, a year. It's the work of a lifetime. It is the work to create change when we can. And when we cannot, It is the work to create the conditions for change for generations to come, 7 generations ahead, right? But for the work of Dr. King and those who came before him, these are the shoulders that we stand on, we would not be here today. So we remember that, and we have the humility to do our part in bending the arc of the moral universe towards justice. Dr. King's teachings inspired the formation of Alliance San Diego, whose mission is to build collective power so we can create an inclusive democracy. And today is an expression of our collective power to elevate, claim, and protect dignity, which is the very essence of an inclusive democracy. We are proud to host the All People Celebration and do the work inspired by it. And I want to acknowledge the Alliance San Diego board, staff, and volunteers in the room. If you could please stand so we could acknowledge you. Thank you so much. We have a tremendous program for you today that includes performances by local artists and keynote speaker John Kim. John, where are you? There you are. There you are. He's hiding over there on the side. He's not sure what to make of all of this. You ever seen this many people, John? John is from Catalyst, California. He's going to get a proper introduction by my good friend a little later. But John came down from Los Angeles. And John, I want you to know that our hearts and prayers are with the people of Los Angeles. We are glad you are here with us. We look forward to hearing from you. And we're glad to show you who we are in San Diego. We are creative, we are compassionate, and we are committed to building the beloved community. Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So thank you all again for choosing to celebrate with us this morning. Your presence is not only a testament to the support of Alliance San Diego's work, but it's a clear sign that in community, we can make a profound difference in shaping a more inclusive world. Okay, now, my grandma used to say, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So if you don't ask, you don't receive. So here I am, standing in front of all you beautiful people to invite you to stand with us, to contribute to our cause, and just to really bolster our work here in San Diego. There's a fancy QR code on your tables right here, the triangles, blue and gold here with our brand colors there. You want to scan that code and give to our cause. You are investing in the power of the people. You are helping us elevate the voices of those who are too often silenced and the demands of those who are too often ignored. I know we live in a world that sometimes feels fractured, where division and hate are louder than ever, but I also know that through shared humanity, we are stronger. We can do this together. So as we move into the next chapter of our work, I ask for your generosity. Your support is an investment to our vision for a future where justice is not just a dream, it's a living, breathing reality for all of us. Thank you for believing in, thank you for supporting and uplifting this work. Thank you for standing with us and being helpful as we build a future where dignity, power, and justice is the birthright of every single person. There are big hearts in here tonight, big hearts, big hearts. So give from your heart and let's create a future that reflects the true values of our shared humanity, a gift towards protecting dignity. All right, enjoy the program and see you all around.
Thank you, Maisha and Andrea. Every dollar is a nod to the cause of building a multiracial, inclusive democracy. With your gift, Alliance San Diego is able to stay the course and serve communities with trust, pride, and passion. We know the obstacles ahead and understand the work we have to do. We must protect the dignity and honor the dignity of others. This is the path to a brighter future. Please turn your eyes to the venue's perimeter for a special performance from the Youth Dancers of Transcendance, a youth development organization that works with underserved San Diego communities by instilling life-changing skills such as leadership, collaboration, and community engagement, performing a piece choreographed by Kiyomi Tarver and Viviana Alcazar.
They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, a warrior, more than a survivor. You can thrive, transformed by adversity. You face every challenge, throw your way, stand strong, you can overcome. They try to beat us down, but we rise above the struggle. Never giving up under pressure, we don't struggle. Instead, we discover gold inside as we realize no matter what, you'll never dull our shine. Deny my place in God, this wonder world, my light will shine so brightly. So strong.
Thank you, Transcendence. Alliance San Diego is honored to have your beauty with us this morning. Your movement sparks joy and awakens our resilience. Now, let's welcome Maribel McKenzie and Michelle Saleri, Alliance San Diego board member and legal rights director, to share a few words of gratitude for our generous sponsors and supporters.
Good morning, everyone. I am Michelle Saleri, and I am the Legal Rights Director here at Alliance San Diego. As I reflect back on this difficult year we've seen attacks on our community, our values, and across the nation. This morning, as we celebrate and honor the living legacy of Dr. King, let us reconnect with our commitment to protect dignity and honor human rights. I'm happy to be joined by our board member, Maribel.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Maribel McKenzie. I'm part of the board of Alliance San Diego, also organizer, political director for United Food and Commercial Workers Local 135, which is a sponsor here. To all our sponsors, we're extremely grateful for your support of this event and our mission. Your dedication and generosity is much appreciated. I'd like to thank our venue sponsors, San Diego Park and Rec Department, community space sponsors, United Domestic Workers, San Diego Miramar College, and San Diego College of Continuing Education, San Diego Gas and Electric, Chris Ward, Navy Federal Credit Union, Port of San Diego, IBEW 569, Monarch Group, San Diego City and Mesa College, the University of San Diego, UFCW Local 135, UC San Diego Health and Office of Chandler, San Diego Foundation, and Southwestern College. Pass it back on to my sister.
It is my deep honor to thank all the people who made this event possible, including all of you, those who support our efforts throughout the entire year, and everyone out there helping to build the beloved community here in San Diego, where we all belong and around the world. And I want to give a special shout out to everyone who donated time, materials, and services to make this event special. Special thanks to AmeriCorps, Bright, IATSE, A Visual Approach, EDCO, Absolute Security, Mandate Records, SD Catering Company, Deaf Community Services, and if you saw all the beautiful posters on your tables, special thanks to Anthony Segala, our artist of those posters from the far south border north, grantee partnering with Alliance San Diego. Our year-round partners and allies in the social justice movement, the hundreds of organizations and individuals we work with to build a more inclusive, multiracial democracy, we are beyond grateful to fight alongside you. The past few years have been indeed a test. Last year, we claimed our dignity, and we are stronger for it. Thank you.
And to everyone who believes in Dr. King's dream and who believes we can get to the promised land together by building a beloved community where all of us belong. All of us are cherished and all of us are treated with dignity. We are all in this with you. All the way, let's go.
All right, let's go. I think we are ready, and we are ready, and it is our promise to protect dignity that will get us through and help us continue to work against the forces that aim to divide us. By standing together, we can lift up the silence, the downtrodden, and the people who have been most isolated in these difficult times.
That is our work at Alliance San Diego. And with much pride, we lift up Dr. King's dream of ensuring that all the people can reach their full potential in an environment of harmony, safety, equality, and justice.
This is what we do. So join us.
And we proudly do it with you. Thank you.
In honor of one of Alliance San Diego's dedicated supporters and leaders in the community, the Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award is awarded to individuals who are strong advocates in the community, fighting to uplift the dignity and human rights of all people. Alliance San Diego Board President Isidro Ortiz and Alliance San Diego Associate Director Aaron Suramoto Grassi will share a little insight on the award and present the 2025 Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Leo Carrillo was a member of Generation Y, the generation that brought us Latinx, or Latinx, as part of that generation's effort to build a more inclusive Latino community. Leo was an extraordinary change agent. As Alliance San Diego's first full-time organizer, he led with compassion, dignity, and conviction to empower the community and build an inclusive democracy. For Leo, promoting social change was a compromiso, a commitment rooted in his Mexican cultural heritage, and he was eager to help build Alliance San Diego at a time when the organization was in its infancy. As a transformational activist, Leo drew courage from his immigrant familia and found joy in his LGBTQ family. He was an authentic humanitarian and deeply empathic person who guided many through the complexities of the world. Long after he worked at Alliance, he came back to shepherd community conversations about fears, anxieties, and hope in moments of political turbulence and anti-immigrant nativism. He's, of course, much needed today. Through his example and solidarity, he inspired people to find their strength and recognize that they were not alone. In honor of his legacy, Alliance San Diego has created the Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award to recognize a young activist and emerging leader who is working concretely to bring about social change in Leo's spirit and example. Associate Director of Alliance, Erin Soromoto Grassi, herself one of the most committed, irrepressible, and skillful organizers of her generation, will introduce this year's recipient of the award. Erin?
Armand Harvey is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of the Harvey Family Foundation, an organization whose mission is to provide services to families in underserved communities, support youth with opportunities to advance to college, as well as provide community resources events. By providing guidance and mentorship through the foundation, Armand is creating a brighter, more inclusive future for all, fostering hope and resilience, and impacting countless lives. Passionate about youth development, Armand runs innovative sports and enrichment programs that inspire, educate, and empower young people to help them realize their full potential. When a major storm and flooding hit last January, Armand demonstrated leadership and courage by choosing to run into the storm instead of away from it. In the critical moments during and immediately following the January flood, Armand sprung into action with the Harvey Family Foundation to respond to the needs of impacted community members, providing food and clothing and a safe place to sleep. His quick actions kept individuals housed and alive and provided a lifeline to community members who had lost everything. In the months following the flood, Armand and his team fought to keep individuals housed in hotels, and they have been leading efforts to rebuild affected communities house by house, so that community members can return to their homes. Armand firmly believes that with compassion, dedication, and vision, one person can make a significant difference. There is no better proof of that than Armand himself. Leaders are not born at birth. Leaders are born when everyday people step forward during moments of crisis to protect human rights and uphold dignity. That is exactly what Armand did during the January 2024 flood and what he continues to do today. He's hiding from us. We are honored to count Armand as a partner as we continue Dr. King's fight to build the beloved community and work to create a more inclusive democracy. For these reasons, we are very, very proud to present the Leo Carrillo Change Agent Award to Armand Harvey.
Congratulations.
Thank you for this incredible honor. This award is not just recognition of our work, but a testament to the strength and resilience of the flood survivors, our community. And I want you all to know how incredibly I am of each and every last one of you. They face imaginable challenges and courage and determination, and it has been our privilege to stand by their side. This is an award as much as ours. And it reminds us that no community should ever be neglected or forgotten. I promise to continue working tirelessly to ensure we are better protected and cared for in the future. Together, we will build a stronger and more future together. Thank you.
Congratulations, Armand Harvey. The Ashley Walker Award is given to an individual who represents the values that our Board Emeritus embodied to build the beloved community through bold acts of inclusion, love, and justice. Board member Samantha Jenkins and Alliance San Diego Civic Engagement Director Itzel Maganda Chavez will present the 2025 Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award.
Good morning, San Diego, and happy MLK Day. My name is Samantha Jenkins, and I'm a proud board member with Alliance San Diego.
Good morning y buenos días. My name is Itzel Maganda Chavez, and I'm the Civic Engagement Director here with Alliance San Diego.
This morning, it is my honor to present the 2025 Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award. Before Itzel tells you about the awardee, I'd love to tell you a little bit about Miss Walker, who touched so many lives. She is a lifelong social justice advocate that has left an indelible mark on this world and the San Diego community at large. As a child, she integrated her all-male, all-white school at a significant peril to herself. As an adult, she fought for the downtrodden, the marginalized, and the endangered, always leading with love. She is credited with institutionalizing comprehensive domestic violence services in the county, after which she worked tirelessly to build a more inclusive San Diego as the longtime executive director of the City of San Diego Human Relations Coalition. Ashley Walker is a founding member of Alliance San Diego, and I'm honored to extend this award in her name today. The award in her name recognizes an individual or group for their work in promoting peace, social justice, human and civil rights in our community. And this year, the Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award is given to Pedro Rios. We are honoring Pedro today for his tireless work to build change in a border region that leads with dignity.
And as such, it is our honor and privilege to co-present this year's Ashley L. Walker Award to a very special someone who embodies the spirit of advocacy, justice, and compassion, Pedro Rios. Pedro is a tireless leader and fearless human rights advocate who has dedicated his life to uplifting communities at the U.S.-Mexico border. Since 2003, Pedro has served as the director of the American Friends Service Committee U.S.-Mexico Border Program, where he has been at the forefront of advocating for humane and dignified policies for the southern border region. He provides life-saving necessities for migrants held in open-air detention sites between the primary and secondary border walls in San Isidro, and he helps survivors of abuse by border agents turn pain into purpose. Every day, Pedro reminds us that no human being is illegal. Ningún ser humano es ilegal. With over 25 years of unwavering commitment to immigrant rights and border issues, Pedro's work has been transformative. Having had the privilege of knowing Pedro since my early days of organizing, I have witnessed firsthand his profound leadership, his unwavering selflessness, and the deep well of knowledge he draws upon. Knowledge not just from his professional work, but from his life experiences, which he shares so generously. Pedro has been an unyielding beacon of hope, a mentor and an ally, inspiring countless individuals like myself to take action and stay committed to the cause of human rights. Pedro is an enduring example of what it means to be a true human rights defender, and today we honor Pedro and reaffirm our collective commitment to dignity, humanity, and justice. Please join me in presenting this year's Ashley L. Walker Social Justice Award to Pedro Rios, a champion for justice and a true friend to us all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm genuinely humbled by this gesture. It's an honor for me to receive this recognition, especially by colleagues that are united in the struggle for justice, in the struggle to protect dignity. But I think it would be a mistake to say that this work is done by myself as an individual. It's important to recognize all of whom we've walked together in this struggle for justice, not only to protect dignity, but to defend it. And my colleagues with the American Friends Service Committee who are here as well. There's so many of you who we've met along these nearly 3 decades of doing this work. And my family as well. My family who joins me here, my mom Gloria, my son Joaquin, my wife Angelica, and my other son who couldn't join us today, Teotzin. There's so many of you who are deserving of this award. And around the country, I think today specifically, not only in recognition of the justice work that Martin Luther King Jr. did, but also in the face of encroaching fascism, that we recognize the work that human rights defenders do around the world. And so I want to leave you with these 2 questions. What is our responsibility to defend and protect dignity as we see encroaching fascism permeating around our country? How do we defend human rights defenders who are working towards justice work and protecting human dignity around the world, especially as we see a genocide being televised? We have a great responsibility, friends and colleagues, compañeros y compañeras. And so this award doesn't belong to me. It belongs to all of us together. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha and Itzel, and congratulations again, Pedro Rios. In every facet of our work, Alliance San Diego recognizes the need for building collective power. In order to create lasting change, we must intentionally work together and move forward. Please welcome to the stage local performer Lisa Payton Harris to sing a song of resistance and the power of community.
You've got the words to change a nation, but you're biting your tongue. You spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you'll say something wrong. If no one ever hears it, how we gonna learn your song? So come on, come on, come on, come on. You've got a heart as loud as lion, so why let your voice be tame? Baby, we're a little different, there's no need to be afraid. You've got the light to fight the shadows, stop hiding it away. Come on, come on. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers, I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. No, oh, 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 At night we're waking up the neighbors while we sing away the blues, making sure that we're remembered, yeah, 'cause we all matter too. If the truth has been forbidden, then we're breaking all the rules. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's get the TV and the radio to play our tune again. It's about time we got some airplay of our version of events. You don't have to be afraid, I will sing with you, my friend. Come on, come on. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers, I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh, 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 yeah, we're a wonderful, wonderful people. But when did we all get so fearful? Now we're finally finding our voices. So take a chance, come help me sing this. Yeah, we're a wonderful, wonderful people. But when did we all get so fearful? Now we're finally finding our voices. So take a chance, come help me sing this. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry out. So put it in all of the papers, I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words dry I'm not afraid. They can read all about it, read all about it. Oh.
Wow. Those lyrics are reminders to honor our dignity and reclaim our narrative. Please welcome Christopher Wilson, Vice President of Power Pack Foundation, to introduce this year's keynote speaker.
Good morning, family. No, I said good morning, family. How y'all doing? I am so excited to be with you once again to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As Associate Director Emeritus. Did I make that up? Yes, I did. Because why not? When I was first asked to introduce John Kim, the speaker today, I immediately said yes, without any hesitation. My thought was, that will save me a whole bunch of time to introduce him to my family in San Diego, all of you. Imagine how much time it would take me to take John around and introduce each and every one of you to him. So I get to knock it out in 5 minutes. I thought about how to introduce John, and I said, you want to do this right because he deserves it. And I thought I would send him some questions to help you get to know him. Then I thought, how many times do these introductions talk about education and jobs and accomplishments? But very rarely do the introductions tell us about the human who's about to speak. So that's what I want to do for you. John is the president and CEO of Catalyst California. It's a social impact and racial justice organization that works statewide in California. In that way, he is everything we expect in our movement leaders: inspiring, deliberate, motivational and inspirational, passionate and compassionate, bold and brave, and understanding but firm. John is smart. I mean, super smart. But not the kind of smart that makes anyone else feel less smart. He's comfortable not knowing the answer and open to learning. John leads through inquiry. He's not afraid to ask the questions and seek the information necessary to support our theories of change and produce the data that justifies it. He is not afraid of data, and he knows it is a big support for our fight, but he also knows that numbers and statistics alone will not win the battle. John is a person. John is a movement man. John invests in and helps others. He shares knowledge and information. He believes in collaboration and unity and solidarity. He makes space for others, especially in leadership. Whether he's on the front line locking arms with activists or in the boardrooms pushing for equity, simply put, he's a movement man. Now, John says I'm his boss because I'm on the board of directors for Catalyst California. But that's not even possible because everybody, including the board of directors, wants to work for John. Everybody secretly thinks that John is the best boss in the world. So when he says I'm his boss, I don't buy into that. But enough about work. John is a very serious man. And I want to introduce you to my friend, John. He's a good person, a believer in balance and equity, a conscientious man. He is a married father of 2, a musician and artist who loves the Black Pumas and the Dodgers. He can be serious, very serious at times, but he also laughs a lot. I mean, we laugh a lot, especially when nobody's looking, almost to the point of goofing off. He's that kind of person. With everything I've shared about John, I will admit to you that I don't know him well enough to call him a good friend, but I'm looking forward to the day that I can. I know he's a good human, and he's on a mission to make the world a better place, starting in California, starting in San Diego today, and I want to do whatever I can to help him. As I said earlier, I'm willing to be influenced by him, and I know that those are the best people to be best friends with. San Diego, please say hello and welcome my friend, John Kim, to the stage.
All right, good morning, everyone. It's kind of nice to get introduced by one of your bosses like that. Thank you so much, Chris. This is quite the room. This is quite a beautiful space. As you all know, firestorms ripped through our communities up in Los Angeles for the past 2 weeks. I've been thinking about it this weekend, and that is actually the second time I've seen LA burn. To be honest with you, there were moments where I was unsure whether I could actually make it down here to be at this special event. I've never experienced a night like January 7th. It was though Mother Nature's twin furies of hurricane and wildfire conspired to burn everything down that night. My family was fortunate. We were still 15 minutes downwind of the closest yet most deadly fire, the Eaton Fire. But even in our neighborhood, we had falling trees, crushed cars, power lines popping and strewn all over the streets. For a while, our street was fully blocked by an uprooted tree, and so I stepped out to pack our car and to make sure we could evacuate in case it came to that. I could barely see 15 feet ahead of me, given the winds and the debris ripping across my face. But we were the lucky ones. My family is safe. Our home is safe. The furious winds died that next morning. Our power came back, and we stepped outside in that ominous post-disaster haze, checking in with neighbors and starting to clear the streets. Throughout the day, we would hear from our friends and colleagues and movement allies who were either evacuated or who had lost their homes. And we then did what we do as movement people. We organized. By the next morning, a new multiracial coalition was forming to offer immediate mutual aid, to reach out and listen to those directly and indirectly impacted by the fires, and to prepare for what we knew were the eventual fights for a just recovery. And to be clear, by that point, it was clear to all of us that Altadena and the Palisades were now joining that terrible list of communities like the 9th Ward, like the town of Paradise, like Lahaina, victims of a planet screaming for reprieve, with predatory politicians and speculators circling above. As I mentioned, it was touch and go as to whether or not I could make it down here. But as I was thinking about it, I remembered the larger moment that we're in and what we all need to collectively be prepared for. Yeah, the wildfires in our forests and on our streets was certainly a tragedy, and that fight will continue. But we today are facing political wildfires that are coming at all of us. I also made it a point to get down here because of how amazing a movement partner and institution the Alliance San Diego has been and will always be. I remembered how honored I was when Andrea and Maisha asked me to take this on, and how much respect I have for them and this amazing community around the organization. I also know that I personally have a deep need for fellowship, as we all do, even in the darkest of times. And finally, I made it down here because they knowingly and willingly invited me, a lifelong Dodger fan, to speak to you in the shadow of Petco Park. I mean, come on. Dr. King called upon all of us, right, to be in a brotherhood bigger than our baseball teams, yeah? Except for the San Francisco Giants, right? I mean, whatever beef we got, at least we could agree, right? We don't like the Giants. So a little bit more about me. I was born in Los Angeles on 2nd and Vermont, to be specific. By kindergarten, my parents had moved us down to Orange County. And being one of the first Korean American families in Fullerton was an interesting experience. You're sort of there, but you're not really there. I was able, for example, to constantly convince the tougher kids in the school to not mess with me because my uncle was Bruce Lee. Doesn't make sense. I'm Korean, he's Chinese. But by the time I graduated from high school, 35% of my student body was Korean American. There were 7 other John Kims at my high school. And in my senior year, when I would skip a class, the phone call would come to my mom. And she's like, your son, John Kim, was not in class. And I tell my mom, Mom, they can't tell us apart. They can't tell us apart. That was another John Kim. And she said, that's terrible. Don't hang out with that other John Kim. I'm like, no, that guy's a jerk. I'm not gonna hang out with that guy. Now, I do not advise any of the young people to ever skip class, unless your name is John Kim, in which case I got you. Much of my childhood, when I was a kid, was spent in the back storage rooms helping out whatever small business my parents owned. A hamburger shop, a dry cleaner. And one day, when I was a kid, my dad took me to visit his friend's liquor store in South LA, or as you might know it, as South Central. I knew the drill. I grabbed my book, because there were no handheld devices back then, headed back to the storage room while my dad caught up with his buddy. A few moments later, though, I remember this afternoon, I heard commotion. And so I peeked out into that store. And there was my father's friend and a customer on the opposite side of those overcrowded counters and that plexiglass wall, shouting at each other at the top of their lungs. I don't recall the details of the argument. I do remember the heat of that summer day, how hot it was inside that store, and the heat of that argument. I remember thinking about how far apart they were from one another. One was an immigrant store owner with a very thick English accent, which I'm sure was mocked on a daily basis. The customer, most likely a local black resident, was probably sick and tired of being treated with disrespect and suspicion in his own neighborhood. But for some reason, what stuck with me from that moment, even as a kid, was not just their differences, but also their similarities. See, neither of those men or folks that look like us were the respected people on the television and movies that I grew up on. I saw both of those men fighting for the exact same thing, a little respect. And that in their own ways, I am sure, no matter how hard they worked, both of them were unable to live into their fullest potential. A few years after that afternoon, LA caught on fire. It was the 1992 LA uprising. Some in the media call it the LA riots. We call it the uprising because, as Dr. King says, a riot is the language of the unheard. And that was the first time I saw LA burn. I was 16 when the Rodney King verdict was rendered, and I did not know those particular words from Dr. King, but I saw that exact thing happen in Los Angeles. But I also saw Black and brown and Korean communities pitted against one another, tearing each other down, and all of our communities burning down. All the while, the wealthy and the elite were protected by that thin blue line of LAPD, which through their vicious policing practices is what actually started that fire. It wasn't until I joined the movement in college that I better understood that the underlying political structures created a million moments like that one in the liquor store. That the political structures were built to extract as much value and labor and resources from all of us for the sake of the elite at the very top. I also was very clear about how much anti-Black racism and white supremacy was infused into all of our cultures. Regardless of what community came from, it was in the water. It was a poison we were all ingesting. And it's the perfect recipe to keep us fighting and clawing at each other. Now, a lot has changed since 1992. We have seen a renaissance in multiracial community organizing in Los Angeles that has significantly grown the sense of solidarity and the ability for communities to have their voices reach into the halls of power. 1992, the flames were caused by the oppression of our people. 2025, the flames were caused by the oppression of our planet. On Friday, just a few days ago, that multiracial coalition that I mentioned earlier brought over 30 faith-based indigenous labor groups from across the city and filled the entire sanctuary of the First AME Church of Pasadena. The First AME Church is one of the first of its kind in that region and stood blocks from the fire zone. And we came together to lift up the voices of those who lost their homes, who lost their jobs, who are now effectively homeless. A multiracial, multi-class, multi-everything choir to proclaim in one voice that out of the ashes of these fire, beauty will rise. That we will not let predatory speculators, the vultures that were already circling, kick out the beautiful residents of these historically Black and Latino communities. And that we will not only rebuild, but we will rebuild with more justice, more sustainability, more balance with the land. And out of the ashes of these fires, beauty will rise. That sanctuary in the First AME was a far cry from that hot summer day in that liquor store in South LA. It was a far cry from the fires that burned in 1992. It was a salve to our broken hearts for the 2 weeks we had just endured. It was all of us coming together across differences to support one another, to stand in solidarity. That is the California that I know. That is the California that I love. Unfortunately, even in California, the politics of bigotry and separation are always there, waiting in the wings, ready to pounce when they have that opportunity to make it harder for us to meet our collective challenges. These past 2 weeks, we've had political attacks on LA's mayor and longtime ally Karen Bass. Misogynist, racist attacks on the first Black woman of LA, to be the mayor of LA, all to slow her down while she was working tirelessly to coordinate our response to save lives and to ready us for recovery. But Dr. King warned us about this too, right? Dr. King warned us that with any progress, the backlash would be swift and brutal. And he warned us that he will send political clowns that will use that time-tested witch's brew of bigotry, prejudice, half-truths, and whole lies. I know Mayor Bass. I don't care where in the world she is. I know for a fact that as soon as she heard that the city she loves was on fire, she was 1,000% locked in, 1,000% in control, and pushing herself and her team to meet the moment. What is even more conniving is that these political clowns are telling half-truths and whole lies by attacking her budget, when they know that in the end, there was more money for the fire department, and that every jurisdiction in our state, all of our jurisdictions, will soon be facing budget constraints and shortfalls. And they know this because they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars to block and defeat any attempt for us to raise revenue, for us to secure our collective future. Half-truths and whole lies. And here's the most mind-boggling part of the situation that we're facing right now, is that we here in this room are actually fighting for them, even as they attack us. Dr. King wrote that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Now to them, that just sounds like saccharine soundbite. It might be true theoretically, poetically, but not really, they tell themselves. In 1992, the corrupt system of police brutality and economic segregation may have kept the wealthy and the elite separate from those flames. But if you extract so much from the people and extract so much from the planet, at some point, the very real, non-theoretical threat of climate change will become that inescapable mutuality that Dr. King told us about. The Palisades is one of the wealthiest parts of one of the wealthiest cities of one of the wealthiest states in the world, and it burned down just the same as the historically Black and Latino communities of Altadena and Sylmar. It is not just theoretical. When it comes to climate change, we are indeed in this all together. I could say the same thing about the troubling uptick of political violence and gun violence and the loneliness and mental health issues caused by social media and other new technologies. We are actually in this all together. But now we have to turn our attention to that other political firestorm that is coming at us, this time from Washington, D.C. Immediately after the election in November, the pundits and the party leaders and the consultants all took to the airwaves with their knee-jerk reaction to this election. And I'm sure some of you thought, as I did, here goes those half-truths and whole lies. Let me be clear about a couple of things. There is no mandate for the cruelty that is about to come. We have to remember that he won the popular vote by 1.5%. He likes to win bigly. But in fact, it was one of the tiniest victory margins across the globe for an incumbent party since COVID. And no matter what, no matter the win margin, no matter the electoral math, you cannot have, and there is no mandate for the suffering that is about to come and the damage that will be inflicted on our families, our country, and the planet. But what's just as important is that we have to step back and be clear-eyed about what we're actually up against. It's not just another chaotic, trolling Trump administration. What we're really up against is this unholy union between big tech, authoritarians, and the oligarchs. And they don't want to just win an election. They want to reshape our society. They want to atomize our experience into smaller and smaller bubbles to keep us separate from one another by pumping us full of content and convenience and grievance to keep us from coming out of our rooms. They want to isolate and they want to alienate. And they want to take us back to that hot summer day in that liquor store so that we're more focused on hating each other than to stop them from stealing our collective future. In the end, the distance between us is their profit margin. Let me say that again. The distance between us is their profit margin. In November, after the election was called, just a few hours, a new movement was birthed in California. Community groups came together, just like Alliance San Diego, but across the state to publicly launch a new experiment called We Are California. We had been preparing it for a few months now because we knew that we had to be ready to fight regardless of the election. And we knew that we needed to push ourselves to meet this moment of crisis, to build up our strength, our cohesion, and our vision of what California could be even in the darkness. We started organizing and linking an ever-growing list of community partners region by region. We've begun to tell our own story of our state rather than letting them tell our story for us. And we are prepared to push our elected leaders to understand the election results do not mean we need to be less bold when it comes to improving the conditions of everyday working, hard-working Californians. We actually have to be more so. And we're also looking inward to figure out what bad habits we've picked up in the movement over the years and what new strategies we need to employ. The past 2 weeks in LA taught us again that we are nothing without our neighbors. And we cannot be so quick to cancel or break from our neighbors because they don't believe 100% of what we believe. We need to break through the old silos that too often keep communities and organizations apart. Service providers over here, community organizers over there, labor and electeds and philanthropy in their own lanes. We do not have that luxury anymore. And we need to start thinking on a different scale, maybe this kind of scale, to think big and wide and large in terms of who we build our beloved community with. Events like this are critical at a time like this. It doesn't have to always be this massive. I've never seen a no smoking sign that large before in my life. But we do need to be in space together, in house meetings, in community events, and not just going back to the basics of organizing, but the basics of just being human together in communion, to glean a little bit more understanding, a little bit more empathy from one another. Let me close by telling the last story. You know, my wife Chung-Yi Choi and I, we raised our 2 kids, Naya and Ellis, up there in Los Angeles. And ever since they were babies, we were always taking them to community events or protests or celebrations. And our daughter, Naya, who is now 17, when she was about 3 or 4, she was at one of those events at the childcare room on the side. And when the event was done, they jumped into the car. It was my wife and Naya. And Naya was upset. She was pissed. And my wife, ever the pro, gave her some space and then asked her, what's wrong? Did something happen? And Naya said, somebody in that childcare room called her Chinese baby. Now, mind you, Naya, like 3 or 4, had grown up in diverse spaces and rooms like that. But she was really upset. So Chung-Yi was thinking to herself about how to help Naya make sense of it, how to manage the feelings of being racialized at such a young age. Or maybe Naya was pissed that she was called Chinese when she's in fact Korean, or maybe she just didn't want to seem different. And at that moment, Naya yelled out, "I'm not a baby." That was the thing that was bothering her. Not the race thing that we had assumed. She was 3 or 4 years old. She wasn't a baby anymore. She was right. But we wouldn't have known this unless you take the time and the space to sit together. The distance between us is their profit margin, and we all have to, in small and big ways, close the space between us. As soon as we walk out these doors, thank you. As soon as we walk out these doors, their cruel game plan will be unleashed. They will flood the zone, and they're hoping that we will react with silence, separation, alienation, and fear. But we've had enough. Let's close the distance. Let's all remember that our ancestors have faced much greater odds, much harsher political conditions, and that they have given us the seeds in our blood to build beyond this moment and to build something better. Let's show them who we are. Let's show the world what San Diego is all about. Let's show the world what California is all about. Let's show them that we are all Californians, even Giants fans, that we are all one, and that we are not going to stand for it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good morning, beloved community. My name is Penny Bridges. I serve as the Dean or Senior Pastor of St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in Bankers Hill, where we practice radical hospitality, and you are welcome. Thank you for the honor of offering a closing intention this morning. We have been uplifted, encouraged, challenged and convicted by all that we have heard and seen today. Going forward from this day, when we remember Dr. King, a man who gave his life for the cause of justice, we are called not only to remember, but to act. In my tradition, when someone joins the church through baptism, they make a number of promises, one of which is to strive for justice and peace among all people and respect the dignity of every human being. This is our mission at St. Paul's Cathedral, and we strive to fulfill that promise every day. So before we go our separate ways, I invite you to look around you. Find someone close by whom you do not know, maybe at the next table. Look them in the eye, shake hands, call them neighbor, and wish them peace and joy in the days to come. Take a moment to do that. All right, thank you. So we will go out from this gathering in gratitude for the speakers and musicians who have inspired us, for the workers who have prepared our food and made us welcome, for the colleagues and friends with whom we can collaborate in works of justice, and for the privilege of living in this beautiful city. We are grateful for the gifts that each one of us possesses, which enable us to do the work of justice. We give thanks for the ability to learn and grow in knowledge and love of one another. And we pledge to devote ourselves to a more peaceful, loving, and just community and nation for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. May today mark the beginning of a better world.
Thank you, Very Reverend Penny Bridges of St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral, for sharing that special message. The daily fight for justice is often tough, and words like yours help us remain grounded and focused. If you're able, please stand and join us in singing the unofficial anthem of the Civil Rights Movement, We Shall Overcome. Kyle Brandon, Alliance San Diego's office manager, will guide us through 3 verses that honor our struggles as we continue to build Dr. King's beloved community.
Good evening. I'm sorry, good morning. You see where my head is. It's on sleep. This is a very, very poignant and simple song. We're going to sing 3 verses. First verse, we shall overcome one day. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome one day. Second verse, we shall all be free. And then the last verse is we'll walk hand in hand. So I will lead as you follow. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall all be free someday. Now, if you can hold the hand of the person next to you. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we'll walk hand in hand someday. Thank you.
This concludes the 37th Annual All Peoples Celebration. Thank you for celebrating with us. Remember to protect dignity at all costs. Take it away, Thunder Squad, drumline of Heartbeat Performing Arts Academy.